Good afternoon to one and all. Up to now we will see the concept of what is meant by event and what is meant by sample space, and as well as the axioms of probability, and finally we will see the De Morgan's law. Now let's move on to the next concept, that will be the mutually exclusive events. What will be the mutually exclusive events? For example, if you throw a dice, what will be the chance of probability of getting the dice? That will be the 6 cases, right? First case, here if you take the sample spaces, you will get the 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. Totally we will get the 6 cases. In this mutually exclusive events, the main definition is we have to select your favorable part divided by total number of events in a sample space of a random experiment. Suppose if I take 3 will be my favorite number. If I roll a die, if I get the 3 means I will be okay. If I not get the 3 means I will not satisfied. I will take the one more take. So here if we get the 1 means this is not my favorable case, 2 not favorable case, 4, 5, 6. Here mutually exclusive events means favorable cases divided by total number of cases. P of, suppose if I take the EB the event, if I apply for that probability, what will happen? My favorable cases be the 3 divided by total number of cases. How many total number of cases will be there? That will be the 6. Hence we will get the answer as 1 by 2. This was the main concept behind the mutually exclusive events. Let's see the definition for the mutually exclusive events. We have to write P of E, that will be equal to the M divided by N. This was the formula. M stands for the favorable cases. M stands for the favorable cases. N stands for the total number of events in random experiment, and mainly this probability P of E will be said to be the probability of success. P of E is said to be the probability of success. For example, if I roll in 1 dice, what will be the full output combination? You have get the 6 cases, right? In the same way, if I roll in 1 die, I will want the 9 as an output. It will be possible? No, it can't be possible. Why? Because the total number of cases will be the 6, but you want the 9 be your output. It can't be possible. So that will be the probability of failure. Here if you take probability of failure can be represented as P of E bar. This will be said to be the probability of failure. So let's see what will happen to the probability of failure. If you write the probability of failure, what will happen? P of E bar, that will be equal to, if you put m or replaced m by the n minus m divided by same total number of events, that will be the n. If you do further calculation for this, it will be n by n minus m divided by n. This will be the 1. Here this will be the P of E bar, and here P of E bar, that will be equal to 1 minus, what have to put, m by n? M by n means P of E. P of E. Similarly, if you take this P of E to the left hand side, what will happen? That will be the P of E plus P of E bar, that will be equal to 1. This was the important formula. Please remember this formula. P of E plus P of E bar is equal to 1. For example, this m is also said to be the non-negative number and n is said to be the positive number. If I take this as a non-negative number and n be the positive number, what will be the, for example, if I take m will be less than or equal to n, what will happen to the probability of event? The probability of event, that will be in between 0 to 1. For example, if I take m be the non-negative number, n be the positive number. If I take m will be less than or equal to 1, what will happen to the probability of event? Probability of event will be happen like this: 0 less than or equal to P of E, that will be greater than or equal to 1. The probability of event in between the 0 to 1. Let's see what will happen to the, if I get the probability of event as 0, what will happen? If I get the probability of event as 1, what will happen? Let's see. What we get? 0 will be less than or equal to probability of event E, and it will be greater than or equal to 1. This was your case. For example, if you take P of E, probability of event is equal to 1, just put note. If I take probability of event, that will be equal to 1, what will happen? This will become the certain event. And next, if you take the probability of event, that will be equal to the 0, what will happen? This will become the impossible event. Become the impossible event. Okay. Let's see a small example for this P of E is equal to 1 as well as the P of E is equal to 0. For example, if I take A be the event of a sample space, example, if I take A be the event of sample space, P of A bar less than P of A, what will happen? Bar means complement, this will be the normal A. If you want to remove the complement, you just have to put 1 minus. In the before, you can see my lectures on axioms of probability, then you will get to know how to remove this A bar, that means complement. If you want to remove the complement, just put the 1 minus. Then you have to put P of A less than P of A. This what will happen? 1 less than, this will become the 2 P of A, and here 1 by 2 will be less than P of A. If I need the P of A, what will become the P of A will be greater than or equal to 1 by 2. Here you can observe this will be in between the 0 to 1, 1 by 2 means, right? This was the concept behind the mutually exclusive events. Now let's see some problems, 1 to 2 problems, then you will get to know whatever concept or whole theory we are discussing here, we can apply the problems. Then you will clearly and easily understand what is this mutually exclusive events is. And write it down. This will be the standard definition, that means textbook definition for the mutually exclusive events. So now we will solve some problems based on the mutually exclusive events, then you will get to know. First problem, problem 1. Here what they asked, in a single throw with 2 dice, find the probability of throwing a sum. First question they will be asked, part 1, first question, that will be 10. You have to find the probability of throwing a sum for the 10. And the next question they will be asked, which is a perfect square. Second question, which is a perfect square. Let's solve this problem. You already know mutually exclusive means P of E is equal to M divided by N. M will be the number of favorable cases divided by N means total number of cases. Here in this question they will be asked, in a single throw how many dice you have to roll? You have to roll 2 dice. That means the probability of getting the sum, the total number of events, that will be the n is equal to, for first dice you will get the 6 and another dice you will get the another 6. That will become the 6 cross 6. Hence n is equal to 6 cross 6. 6 is 36. And next, what they will be asked? They will get to know the probability of throwing a sum from 10. Okay? If you know what will be the chances of probability of getting the 10, here M be my favorable case. What they given in the question, that will be the 10. For this 10, how many favorable cases will be there? We have to solve it. I think it will be just like in 3 cases. 3 cases, 3 favorable cases. Let's see what will be the 3 favorable cases. The probability of chances of getting the 10 will be the 5 comma 5, 1 chance, right? And next another chance. Here you can see 5 plus 5, you will get the 10 as an output. We will get our criteria. And the next, if you take 6 comma 4, yes, 6 plus 4, you will get the output as 10. We have get and matched our criteria. And the next, if you take 4 comma 6, this is also 4 plus 6 also matched our criteria. You can observe how many cases we will get for M. That will be the 3 cases. Hence, from mutually exclusive events, what will be the formula for P of E? P of E, that will be the probability of event, that will become the M divided by N. M means how many? 3, right? 3 divided by N means N be the total number of events in a sample space of a random experiment. N will be the 6 cross 6. 6 cross 6. If you take, this will be the 1 divided by 2. Here 1 divided by 6 cross 2, that will be the 12. Here probability of event be the 1 divided by 12. You can observe this was such an easy question, right? In the next scenario we will solve the perfect square. What will happen to the perfect square? This is also very easy only, no problem. Next question, second part, which will be an perfect square. Second part. Perfect square. In this question, what they will be asked? We have to roll the dice. How many dice? 2 dice. 2 dice means 6 plus 6. That will be the 12 sample spaces we will get. So here if you see, for that 12 sample spaces of an event, we have to find the perfect square for that. Let's see. Suppose if I take, this will be then sample space of an event. For first die, how many will be there? That will be the chances of probability 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the same way, if I roll the dice 2 dice, that will become the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This 6 for the first die and remaining this 6 for the second die. For this case, we have to find the perfect square. If you see, if you get this 1 will not be the perfect square, right? And 2 is not be the perfect square. And here if you see 3 is also not be the perfect square. If you see the 4 will be the perfect square, right? 2 square, that is equal to 2 cross 2, that will become the 4. We will get our perfect square answer. 4 will be our perfect square. How we can written the 4? 2 square, that is equal to 2 cross 2, that is equal to 4. One condition has matched our criteria. And next 5 will be the perfect square? No, 5 will not be a perfect square. As well as the 6, no, 6 will not be a perfect square. Next 7 is also not be the perfect square. Next 8, no. Next 9, yes, 9 be the perfect square. 9 means 3 square, that is equal to, we have to write in terms of 3 cross 3, that will be the 9. Next 10 means not a perfect square, 11 not a perfect square, 12 not a perfect square. Here you can observe how many favorable terms we will get. We will get the favorable terms m be the 4, 9. For this 4, 9, how many cases we will get? We have to write it down. For example, if I write the 4 means, how I can write? How many cases? These will be the cases. For 4 means you will get the 2, 2, and next you will get the 3, 1, and next you will get the 1, 3. 3 cases. And next if you add up 2 plus 2 you will get the 4, right? If you add up the 3 plus 1 you will get the 4. If you add up the 1 plus 3 you will get the 4. In the similar way, if I want the 9 means how you can write? That will be the 6, 3, right? 6 plus 3 I will get the 9. And next 3, 6. If I write the 3, 6 I will get the 9. Another chance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So another chance of probability of getting the 9, that will be the 5, 4. 5 plus 4, 9. Next 4, 5. In this way we can write m. How many cases? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hence m will become the 7. M will become the 7. Next we will see n, total number of events. N be the, you already know, n be the 6 cross 6, right? And hence if you apply the probability of event, what will happen? Probability of event, that will become the m divided by n. M be the 7 divided by n means 6 cross 6. Hence this will become the 7 divided by 6 is the 36. 7 divided by 36. This was the probability of event for a perfect square. I hope you understand this problem. This was the simple problem only. Let's see the one more simple problem on this mutually exclusive event. Let's see, put one more problem. This was the last problem for the session. Problem. What is the chance that a leap year will have (53) Sundays This was the question they will be asked. What will be the chance that the leap year have 53 Sundays? Leap year means it will have the 366 days. For the normal year, for normal year, how many days? 364 days. Here, if you, how many weeks you will get the 52 weeks, right? 52 weeks. 52 weeks. So if you multiply with 7, what will happen? 7 to 0, 14, 35, 36. 364 days. For leap year, how many days? That will be the, for leap year, that will be the 366 days. That means you will get the 53 weeks. Right? We are just lagging with 1 week. That week we have to write it down, the probability of favorable cases. Here in this question, the probability of our favorable cases will be the Sundays. Okay? 1 week, how you write that 1 week? How you write that 1 week? Chance of probability, that will be the first case Sunday and Monday, right? And second case Monday and Tuesday, and third case Tuesday and Wednesday, and fourth case Wednesday and Thursday, as well as the fifth case Thursday and Friday, and sixth case Friday and Saturday, and finally seventh case, that will be the Saturday and Sunday. Here you can observe this will be the total number of events. Here the total number of events be the 7. In that case, what will be our favorable case? That will be the Sundays. Here in this whole 7 cases, you can observe where the Sundays will be present. Sundays will be present in first case and as well as the 7th case, right? This will be our favorable case, and next our favorable case will be this 7th case, Saturday and Sunday. This case and this case. This will be the M. Favorable cases M will be equal to 2, and total number of cases how many? That will be the 7, right? N will be the 7. If you want to write the probability of an event, for this apply the probability of an event formula, that will become the M divided by N. M means you will get the 2 and N means you will get the 7. This way, this was the answer of probability of getting the 53 Sundays. This was the up to this class. In the next class we will see the some events as well as the complementary event, and we will solve some problems on intersection and the union. Thank you.